What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades, and I know you've already seen by the title of the video, we've got another Ganzo product in-house. What we've got today is the Ganzo G707 Automatic. Now, this is not a new product. If you look across YouTube, you're going to see videos on the G707 that are 8 years old. But this is a new product for Baz on Blades, and I think a worthy product to look at. This automatic knife you can pick up for less than $30. I think it is very much worth that. I tell you what, you need to go over to powercutlery.com, the only place that I buy Ganzo product from. They do have this pretty hard to find Ganzo automatic in stock right now, and coincidentally, they are running a 5% off Ganzo promotions right now. You're going to use the code GANZO, G-A-N-Z-O, just the word Ganzo, to get 5% off that already low price of $25.99. I love dealing with powercutlery.com. Again, I don't get any money from them or kickbacks or anything. They're just a joy to work with. It is literally the only place that I buy Ganzo product. So let's talk a little bit about this obviously Italian stiletto inspired Ganzo automatic. Again, this is not a new knife. It's just something I've wanted to get a hold of and have never been able to catch anywhere in stock. Let's start out by taking a look at the packaging very quickly. Standard Ganzo packaging here, guys. What you're looking for is the model G707. You're going to go in here, and inside this packaging, you're going to find the knife in a bubble bag here. It's going to have the microfiber Ganzo drawstring storage bag and a silica gel pack. So nothing super exciting there, but you know, for less than $30 for an automatic that is built as well as this thing is, that is pretty decent. Now, this is a fairly sizable knife. It is what I would consider a full-size knife. Let's get the numbers out of the way. We're looking at a 3 3/8 inch blade length. That's about 8.5 centimeters. Your blade stock thickness, 110 thousandths of an inch or 2.8 millimeters. Your blade width, 753 thousandths of an inch or 19.1 millimeters. Handle length, 4 5/8 of an inch or slightly less than 12 centimeters. Handle thickness, there's two thicknesses because you do have a radiused inlay. The steel portion of the handle is 482 thousandths thick. With the wood inlays, you're looking at 619 thousandths, and that is 12.2 millimeters and 15.7 millimeters. Your handle width at the widest is 926 thousandths or 23.5 millimeters. Your closed width is 1.2 inches, and I'm taking that at the killians here, or the quillions, as some people say, and that is 31.6 millimeters. Overall length is 8 1/8 of an inch, or slightly less than 20.5 centimeters. Stop pin diameter, 112 thousandths of an inch, or 2.8 millimeters. Behind the edge on a fairly short grind is surprising because there is a fairly wide secondary edge here. That's your cutting edge. Behind the edge on this, surprisingly, is just 21 thousandths of an inch. That is 0.54 millimeters. Your handle to blade ratio, 0.72, above that 70 percentile point. And your weight, sort of a chunky 5.19 ounces or 147 grams due to the handle being two slabs of stainless steel and not aluminum, which you would typically see in an automatic knife. Let's do Some talk here about the blade steel. It is in 440C. You will see on the back here with your model number G707, it is etched 440C. Ganzo on the front, that is all the etching. 440C at one time was the premium stainless steel. That would have been in the 70s pretty much. Going into the very early 80s up through the 80s, before steels like 154 cm came on the scene. 440C is a high carbon stainless. You're looking at 0.95 to 1.2% carbon content, high chromium content of 16 to 18%. It's a pretty simple steel, a stainless steel. You're going to typically find it rock weld in the 58 to 60 range. What you get out of 440C is decent edge retention, good impact resistance, and good to very good corrosion resistance depending on the blade finish. I like 440C as an EDC steel. It is in that AUS 8 sort of range. Depending on the heat treat, 440 can be a pretty decent performer. It is fairly easy to resharpen. It has good impact resistance, so you don't get a lot of chipping. The blade edge will deform before it chips, and you get good corrosion resistance. It's a decent trade-off steel, and especially in an automatic, a quality-made automatic, I will say, at less than $30, I think it's a pretty decent steel. Into the handle material, we got a couple of nice heavy slabs, no weight relieving except for the pocket for the front, for the outside wood scale here. That's where you get your weight in this knife. Now, when you pick it up, considering it is an automatic, and automatics are typically handled in aluminum, it does feel heavy. 5.19 ounces is going to put this out of the range of all the princesses that like to carry lightweight knives, and that's okay. Princesses will be princesses, but to any real person, it's not too bad. It gives it a sort of a chunky feel in the hand, as it's real. There's some some density, some heft to it. It's not too bad. It is what it is. You like it or you don't like it. So there you go on that. The wood inserts are described as wood inserts. They have about as much character as somebody that has no character. They're just a wood insert, guys. You're not going to get this for the beauty of the wood, and you know what, at this price point, who cares? We're all about the action in this knife at this price point. Small parts are all stainless steel and a satin finish. T8 on the pivot, T6 everywhere else. You've got a stainless steel deep carry pocket clip it's decent. To me it's a little over long as far as aesthetics, but as far as function, it's pretty decent. Screws and pocket clip are not recessed, so if you hate that, you will hate this. It is what it is, guys. $25.99 for an automatic. It is what it is. All right. Fit and finish, and in this segment we're going to bring in a couple of other automatic knives, two different price ranges, and talk about, sort of compare ABC on these knives. Fit and finish on the blade, let's take a look at these grinds here. It is a classic single edge sort of stiletto grind with a long false edge grind on it. It is not thin enough to sharpen, and this blade is not fully recessed like most stilettos, so you do not want to sharpen that. Don't be a dumbass and try to sharpen that. The grinds are pretty symmetrical. They are pretty even. A lot of times with this type of grind, you will see that the swedge, let's just call it a swedge, or this false edge grind on the back, one side will not hit the tip in the same spot. And you know what? This is not absolutely the same, but if it's just a hair off, that is all. Actually, I am pleasantly surprised at the grinds on this knife. Take a look at the base of this grind here, at the plunge. You do not see any smiley facing right there. They've not had to modify the grind angle to get that edge done real well. So you know that sharpening choil here is pretty well done. It is out into the flat of the primary grind, so you don't have to worry about that. It is super needle sharp pointy, and just a feather touch and it instantly pierces, guys. If you drop this knife and it hits the ground, it's going to break the tip. Don't try to catch this knife. That will, just from the weight of these stainless steel handles, that will stick right in you if you try to catch this knife. So kudos on the blade grinds, the blade finish, which is a stone wash finish. It's attractive. The overall finish of the knife is stone wash going into these stainless handles here. The machining on these stainless handles is as good as you could expect regardless of price. I don't see any machining issues at all. Everything is even, everything is clean. There's no tool chatter marks, there's no anything. This knife is overall, as far as fit and finish, is surprisingly well done. Stainless steel is not an expensive material, and yes, it's a little heavier, and you know what, the stainless steel is a little slick. If you have had any Kershaw frame lock knives in stainless steel that have had a stone wash finish, you know it's sort of a slick finish, but this is not a working knife. This is, it's sort of a budget, sort of gentleman's carry automatic is what I consider stilettos to be, much like my Kershaw Launch 8 here, which has much higher end materials, but it's not a working knife. It's got that super thin blade grind on it. You can see the similarities in those grinds. You're talking the same school of thought, which is classic stiletto blade grind. So the stainless steel, like I've said about everything else, it is what it is, guys. Remember, $25.99. What can you say about the pocket clip? It's a pocket clip. It clips it onto your pocket, and it's connected to the knife with a couple of screws. So, yeah, fit and finish there is good. You've got a couple of standoffs here rather than a backspacer, so that's okay. I'm okay with that. Fit and finish on this knife, I don't see any issues with this. Again, the wood's not pretty, but that's not fit and finish. Fit and finish is how well it's fitted and finished, not what the wood looks like. It's just cheap, not very exciting wood. So, let's go into action. Again, I did bring out the Kershaw here, and I'm going to bring out one other knife, and that is a Boker, the Kalashnikov automatic. And we're looking at basically 3 different price points. We've got a couple of Chinese-made knives here, although the Boker Kalashnikov, depending on what variant you get, can cost almost twice as much as this Ganzo. Then we've got an American-made Kershaw here, which is going to be around the $100 range for the standard model. This one, which was customized by Matt Diskin, was quite a bit more, but it's no longer available, so let's not worry about that price. We're going to take the Kershaw out of what we're going to talk about as far as action goes, because it is so much more expensive and it is an American-made product. Let's compare these two Chinese-made products as far as the action goes. Fit and finish wise, the Ganzo is much better than this Boker. It's much better, guys. It feels better in the hand. It's just better made than this Boker. The Boker does have a stronger spring in it. It is a little snappier, opening and closing, but the Boker is very, very finicky as to your pivot tension. It is very hard to balance the action and the play in the pivot. It has taken me a long time to get that balance right. The Ganzo G707, it came out of the box pretty much the best it was going to do. And I'm going to tell you, even though it's not quite as snappy, it is fairly snappy, and there is zero, less than 0% play in the lock in any direction. There is no lateral play in the pivot. There is no radial play at all in this lock, this push button plunge lock. It is extremely well fitted. The Boker, on the other hand, it has always and will always have play in that push button lock. It is not as well fitted. Now I do have it adjusted right now to where it doesn't have any pivot play, and it's still nice and snappy as far as opening it, but it will always have lock play on that plunger as it fits to the tang of the blade. There's nothing you can do about that. The Ganzo, at much less money than that Boker, it's got no play at all, guys. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I'm very pleasantly surprised at the quality of this knife. I thought it was going to be something I would buy. It would be just sort of a joke to buy an automatic knife at $25.99, and it's turned out to not really be a joke at all. I'm not going to say it's a serious automatic like this American-made Kershaw or a ProTech or a Microtech or anything like that. Oh my God. Okay, focus. Come on, focus. Come on, focus. Here we go. All right. Sorry, guys. So, it's for what it is. It's a pretty decent buy, and I can kind of recommend it, guys. I mean, it's got super solid lockup, at least my example does. The centering is, if it is a hair off, that is all. It is, if we can look at the back side, I don't think I can get enough light on that, guys, but if it is a hair off, that is all. It is pretty much straight down the center, and you know, while not the snappiest, like I say, it is snappy. It doesn't have any play in the pivot. It doesn't have any play in the lock. I have picked up side opening automatic knives from very well made companies that cost multiple hundreds of dollars that had more play in them than this $25 Ganzo. I mean, that's just the honest truth. I'm not going to name any brands because they were quality products, and a lot of the times that's very hard to dial out of a side opening automatic. But it is pleasantly surprising. So, what do I think about this knife as far as pros and cons? Let's do the pros first because I've said them multiple times. Just the fit and finish of this knife, the action, everything about it is as good as you would ever want, more than good, for an automatic of this price range. I can say nothing bad about this knife as far as function as an automatic, as far as lockup as an automatic. I can say nothing bad about it. I can say nothing bad about the fit and finish. You may not like some of the material choices, but those are price point driven. A much more expensive product in a much more expensive material is much more expensive for a reason. A budget product in budget materials is budget priced for a reason. When you get a quality product at that budget price, that's what elevates that product at that price beyond. It's bad and above its average, guys. This is a heavy hitter as far as its price point. Now, the negatives, you know what? The negatives are subjective at best. You know, you've got a sort of a nondescript wood inlay, although the wood inlay is well done. I didn't touch on that. It's even on both sides. It's pocketed well. It's just a nondescript wood. And you know what? That's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be a super expensive piece of wood on a $25 knife. That would be nice. I mean, this would look fantastic with a nice burl inlay on it, but it wouldn't be $25 then. You might not like the weight of this knife. At 5.19 ounces, it weighs 2.5, getting close to 3 times what this Kershaw weighs. It's a little more substantial a profile as far as a stiletto handle goes. You can see the Kershaw is a little more wasp-waisted. They're both, as far as styling, pretty much the same. On the Ganzo, the Killians are on the blade, and they are on the handle of the Kershaw. That's just design differences. That doesn't have anything to do with weight, but when I had it out there, that sort of popped out to me. You may not like that weight, even though to me it just, it feels sort of solid in the hand. And again, we're talking trade-offs for a knife that is $25. And less than that once you apply that 5% discount code. I think what we're doing is, if we do the mathematics here, we're going to come out on the positive for this. At that price point, it wins just on fit and finish and action. I mean, it's a smoking hot deal at that price point, just on the fit and finish and the action. Weight aside, more budget-oriented blade steel aside, I just can't see where you're going to go wrong at that price point. And I've seen a lot of super duper cheap automatic knives, and typically they are 100% crap. They are all 100% crap, regardless of the brand name, regardless of what truck stop or gas station you bought it at. They're all crap. But this is not. It's just cheap. It's not cheap crap. It's just cheap. And it's, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm thrilled. I am thrilled that this knife is as nice as it is, because like I said, I thought, I might review this and it might be sort of a joke review. And it's not. I'm not laughing because it's junk. I'm just laughing because, my preconception was so far off base just in relationship to what I thought I would get out of it at the price point. It's something that I've been carrying. I've been carrying this every day since I got it. And you know what? It just rocks on, guys. It's not developed any play in the action or anything. Let's see what else I can say. Let's take a look here. Gosh, guys. That's all I can say about this knife. I'm already to the point where I'm just repeating myself, and that's not going to do here at Bass on Blades. Oh, wait a second. I do that a lot. Well, we'll do it a little less on this video. So there you go, guys. The Ganzo G707 Automatic. Get them while you can at Power Cutlery at the $25.99 price point. Don't forget the 5% off code Ganzo, G-A-N-Z-O, to get 5% off. And I think you will also be pleasantly surprised at the quality of this knife. If you just want to add a decent looking stiletto style automatic to your collection, I can't think of anything better. I can't think of anything better at the price point. And there you have it, guys. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.